Welcome back to Sweet Maple Ridge. Today we're going to develop a spring that we found on our property and turn it into usable, drinkable water. Join us.
Sweet Maple Ridge Farms. Come on down, everybody. Go!
All right, in this video we're going to show you how to develop a spring we found on our property. Make sure you watch all the way to the end because what we came up with is pretty amazing. Now let's get to it. All right, what you want to do is get a food grade 55-gallon barrel and cut it just like I did. I used a hacksaw to cut it. Just make sure its width is wide enough to fit your situation and its height is at least 20 or so inches. Drill two holes in there, about 3/4 inch, depending on the size of the fittings you get. The fittings I use are from Lowe's. They are a Proline 3/4 inch union fitting. FYI, the bottom hole is where the spring water is going to flow out of, and the top hole is for any overflow. And in case you need to shock the spring, you do this by pouring bleach into the top hole. Get 1-inch pipe and drill holes in it just like I did. Note the holes are big enough to allow any debris to pass through. And although it's not shown in the picture, the pipe connected to the top union fitting is 12 or 15 inches long with holes in it. All right, so this is the spring on our property that we're developing. It has a flow of maybe 1 to 2, maybe 3 gallons per minute. So what we're going to do is collect this water and we're going to pipe it out of the woods using 1-inch pipe. But what we do with the water after that, I think, is what sets this project apart from others I've seen on YouTube. So you got to stick around to the end to see what we do. But anyway, we're going to start very carefully digging this spring out. So here we go. All right, so here you can see the spring that I started digging out. I did this very carefully with a small shovel just to be careful I didn't damage the spring or cause any blockages. You want to dig it out so the water runs down and away from the spring. You don't want it to pull up inside the spring or anything like that. That could cause like a negative pressure and inhibit the free flow of water. All right, so here's the spring after I dug it out. You can see that everything is running really, really nicely. Okay, so here's the difficult part, if there is one with this project. So what you want to do is get some clay or mud and form a dam with your cut barrel against the side of the hill or whatever you have to work with. And so what you want to do is you want to make sure no water leaks around the edges. So you'll have to use the clay or the mud to seal the water inside the dam or the plastic barrel, both on the inside and on the outside. This part was pretty challenging, was by far the most difficult step. You'll have to pile mud up to the side on the sides of the barrel. This is the only way you're going to get a good seal. But eventually you will, and no water will come out the sides, and you will start seeing water increase inside there, which is exactly what you want. Here you can see the water starting to run out of the pipe as a result of us damming up the spring. The water is dirty right now, but we're about to take care of that. All right, so here I wanted to show you just a quick overview picture of the project. Here you can see the overflow pipe is attached along with the vertical pipe that we'll use to shock the spring if we need to. If you want to do that, just pour a little bleach water into that pipe, wait a few days, and then test the water. You can see that we have water flowing from the bottom pipe out of and away from the spring. And this is exactly what we're looking for. So next, we're going to backfill the spring with rock, and I'll show you how to do that. Here you can see the water flowing. Isn't that awesome? And here you can see the mud that I piled up around the barrel to make a watertight seal. It was a little bit difficult, but we got it done. All right, so now we're going to backfill this. We're going to fill this with stone, and that's going to take care of all that dirty water. And by the way, I put that rock on the pipe to make sure that the pipes stay level. And this is where we're at so far. So I got 3 5-gallon buckets of stone, and what I'm doing is pouring the stone into and backfilling the dam. And this is going to help clean all that dirt out of the water, and it's going to help protect, and you'll see exactly why, because that water clears up really quickly. That's coming out from another spring, and then there's another spring here. I don't think it's water coming out of here. It's a little murky because I just got done putting all this over here and some fell in it, but it's overall getting clear. It clears up really quick. I'm going to fill this up with gravel, and then I'm going to put a tarp over it. I'm going to fill it with gravel to the top, hopefully. Then I'm going to put a tarp over it, or this plastic, and then cover it with leaves, and you'll never know it's there except for this sticking up and this sticking out. So that's where I'm at. Now we have the gravel in there. And now you never really know if there's even water in there. And the rocks are gonna help filter it more. So that's a real good thing. I just have to put a pipe there. See, the water's all cloudy now, but it'll clear up. All right, so I continued filling this with bigger rocks and put them on top of the smaller rocks. And you can see here that the water has really, really, really cleared up. I just need to get a couple more big rocks to make that flush. I'm gonna put plastic over it and just put some dirt over top of that, and then I'm gonna be done. So this is what it looks like with the rocks. And I'm going to take 2 pieces of thick plastic and put it over top of this. And you can see here I did that. Now I'm going to cover it with leaves and dirt and everything else in order to protect it. I think it's done. The water is pretty clear. I mean, it may be just like a little bit murky just because I've been disturbing it, but I think it's good. I got the overflow pipe. This coming out. I'm gonna try to measure how many gallons, how much it takes to fill that 5-gallon bucket up before I come. I dug a drainage so that the rainwater that comes down off this hill either goes to the right or the left. It doesn't go into, hopefully, seep down into this thing. This is how you pour bleach in there. I just got to cover that up, but I'm beat, and I lug up this hill just about every rock I could find to fill that thing up. So I think we give it a couple days to clear up, and then, you know, drink it. Hey, but it's looking real good. All right, so what I did was pipe the water from the spring head all the way down to a trail where I have an IBC tote. And that's where we're putting the water, but you can see here the water is starting to flow nicely. So you can see there's a ton of water running out of all the springs that are up there, but the water that's coming out of the spring that we developed is coming out of this pipe, obviously, and you can see it's running really well there too. So let's hook this end up to an IBC tote that we're going to put right here, and we're going to collect all this water. All right, so this is the 275-gallon food-grade IBC tote that we're going to connect to the pipe from the spring. It will have an overflow so that we can easily get water out of it as needed once it's filled up. So this way, we'll always have 275 gallons or so of water ready to use. I use the same union fittings, which I purchased at Lowe's to connect the pipes to the tote. I also want to say we painted this tote dark green before we put it out there, and that's worked great to help keep the sunlight out and inhibit algae growth. That's coming from the spring. It's been filling up. I got this done a little while ago, and so it overflows from there and goes out there. So that's So here it is. You can see the overflow working perfectly in 275 gallons or so inside the tote on reserve. This is incredibly valuable, and if you have a spring, you can do it too.
Straight out of the mountain.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching. And if you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe. And we'll see you next time, out on the ridge.